This has been broadcasting the whole time. I'm going to add people one at a time and see if this is the case. But we had some minor trouble issues that nobody knows about except for myself. And if my mic was on, the only way I know for broadcasting is if one of you can log into my channel and let me know.
Yeah, she got the denim jacket on. It's a thing.
Oh, sweet. Anyway, welcome to our live show tonight. We are streaming from the Recent Artarians channel, and I am at my childhood home and streaming from my basement. We have Julia here. Holla Julia, like hallelujah. And you may have seen her before. We've done a Parasite episode and some real science stuff. She's also been on Vice. If you used to go to King's Games, you maybe saw her skate, dancing, whatever you do on as one of the King's chicks, and other places as well, which hopefully we'll get into some details of your past and your experienes.
Oh yeah, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I want to ask you specifically about that, and Entourage as well. Pamela Anderson stuff like she's done a lot of stuff. We'll get into that, and then we have Trinity down there, which I love the name, and she has been an avid creator in the APM Advanced Philosophy Memes channel. She does really funny and clever philosophical, political, mind-bending things. Oh, you're muted too, Dee, by the way. And she was also on the Real Science show that we joined last night, which was pretty nifty. So hello, Dee, Trinity. And then we have one of my besties, probably my bestest pal since 6th grade, Crystal, in the house / 80s Essential, because we were going with a like millennial / 80s, 90s. I think a lot of millennials like myself, I thought I was in the 80s, but it was the 90s. So I was like delayed. And I look back and I'll be like, think I was so 80s, but I just kind of was a step behind the 90s. I don't know. But we did the big bangs, and I remember the curling irons that you just spray with hairspray and you fry your bangs just to have this. Like trying to explain some of that to Andreas. He's like, what did you guys do? I'm like, that's just how we did our hair. It's like, this sounds like tragic.
I remember on picture day, I sprayed my hair with the big bangs, and it was super windy out. I went outside and my hair was everywhere, and I came back, got in the car, and it went right back to the same spot it was supposed to be.
Yep.
Legit. And you also, I remember, so I had a kind of synchronistic story because I met Julia. She somehow got us into this Vice ordeal where I was the Hollow Earth expert extraordinaire, which is hilarious in itself. But I remember it reminded me because we went kind of joyriding in your like crazy convertible. It reminded me of when Crystal, when we were 16, we would hop in your ride, and it was like the coolest. And what kind of car did you have?
It was a Ford Probe.
That's so practical because the soft tops in Minnesota, it's like.
Brittany, we just took our top off.
It'd be so cold.
We just took our top off.
I don't have any of my sunglasses. It's okay. I can't put it either. But here.
It is like the true California experience.
Yeah, I know I gotta get a selfie.
Yeah. Oh, I was filming, but.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. Hi. First time in a hot top convertible. I love it. It was great.
Nice.
It reminded me of that, except for we were in like this Corvette, and I was like, I felt like a golden retriever almost, just like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I'm just so happy. But I had a similar feeling every time I would get into that probe. So, it was a little, I don't know. It was just kind of synchronistic. And there's just a lot to discuss for us millennials, which we just figured out we kind of are, but we don't want to identify with because there's negative connotation with them, and we're
Or
not
the OG.
those
Yes.
millennials. We're like the OG millennials. And I think 8 minutes ago, or now 19 maybe, it was Dee's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
So right now is your
At
birthday, like in the
6:06 a.m. That's when it is.
so you're still not technically, but midnight.
Technically, yeah.
This is your birthday. January 28th, is it?
Yeah,
Oh man, we're
Mhm.
definitely gonna have to like sing. That's fantastic.
it's okay.
So I'm gonna sing. I will sing for sure by myself, and you guys can all log off, and the viewers will be gone. But as a Phi Ed teacher, and I remember I used to have a PA system, and I would always look up the kids' birthdays. So I'd have them because we'd use this thing in the gym, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's so and so's birthday," and I would just I would do a whole
Oh,
production.
nice.
It was like a
That's
it
sweet.
yeah, and the kids remembered it. I always asked if it was okay because I didn't want to embarrass anybody, but it was like,
Mhm.
"Happy birthday!" Drop on my knees to you and many more. And I would just go.
Uh-huh.
It was my moments to shine in the gymnasium.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's enough about me. But Crystal has also got the opportunity, and I know Julia and Dee soon has met Andreas, and a lot of people that watch Recent Tartarians are familiar with Andreas Exertus. And I just wanted, from the Midwest perspective, he came to, I think we went to Gavin's like graduation party, and he was like trying to tell jokes with your father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
And what was your interpretation of meeting this Santa Cruzian Californian individual, being from our sheltered areas in the Midwest?
The vocabulary was a little different than what we're used to here. It was good. He's very smart, very intelligent. And my father-in-law is he's very intelligent too, but he's very mellow and calm and maybe bigger words are not his best suit. And so when Andreas was talking to him, I think he said, do you remember that, Brittany?
What did he say?
I don't know what planet you're from, but it's not the same one as mine.
Funny you say that. I think he was
But he
talking
wasn't
to Craig.
saying it in a bad way. He was
Correct.
saying
No.
because
And there is
it
a
was-
mutual respect that
Yeah.
people have when they kind of meet him and he hangs out and will tell jokes and
Yeah.
whatnot. But yeah, he's a little
Very
zany, a little
smart.
crazy, intelligent.
Yeah.
And he has I think he watched Degrassi, so he's like shocked when he sees things in the Midwest that are actually legit. So for example, Crystal married her high school sweetheart, and that's that some people are like, but when I came back from where I went to college, the school I taught in, like all these kids, my parents are still married, and so that can work. And he was like, "What? They still talk to each other?" So I'm like, "No, they're married." So that was kind of an interesting realization that maybe isn't as common in bigger cities because it's like there's a lot more schools. I don't know if we're just limited or what, but it seems to work out. And you have, and she's got some stories we might get into with kind of dealing with the system. And and you are, I don't know if we won't talk about your job on this episode. We might do your big three though, which is kind of the whole point of the show. We're going to do big three, but I was just really wanting to talk a little bit about the 80s and 90s and kind of growing up. For example, like Crystal and I were at the state high school football tournament together, and we remember when our starting running back someone gave him a bloody nose, and so he had to sit out, and that's why we lost the state game. and like stupid, right? But at the time, huge and a big deal, and that's something that Andreas is like sports. Like, or organized. He's like, water polo is like the best sport to get into. I'm like, we don't water polo.
What?
I'm like, I don't think we even offer that in all of Minnesota. Like, as a sport,
Really?
it's not
Not
recognized
one
by the state
school?
high school league.
No schools have water polo?
Not as a competitive. Julia, see, you Californians, you guys are weird. I'm just kidding. You're different. You're not weird. And that is a part of the programming too.
No,
so
I'm
it's
super
like,
weird. Why will you just clarify that right now? I'm past
Weird is good.
weird is
Weird
good. I
is
think
good.
we're all, everybody here is a little weird. I mean, we're wearing jean jackets. I don't know if you guys have a Gerbeau jean jacket.
Yeah. And we didn't
don't
even
have that
plan
one.
for it either.
I'm just
That's the
kidding.
weird
I was
thing.
going to say, though, this jacket's gone down in price since I got it on ThreadUp. But yeah, if anyone remembers Gerbeau's, again, you'd probably be like a millennial because they were only popular for like, it was a short time period. And Andreas didn't even really know what they were. And I don't think they might not have been popular in other parts of the world, but where we were from, it was like the biggest thing.
I'm actually.
You've never heard of it?
No.
Oh my gosh!
It looks like
mind blowing. So
like
Gerbeau's, I have 3 pairs of Gerbeau jeans because once I found out they had jean jackets, I was like, oh my gosh, I can buy because my Gerbeau's, my Gerbeau's are in storage. No, it's a G.
It's G.
Martha Francisco Gerbeau.
It's just spelled weird.
They were like, they had a little white patch on the crotch that said Gerbeau. So like if you wore them, there's this white. Everybody knew, but it was this white patch thing. And I don't know if they wore them on like a TV show, if the Nuke is in the Block or like Nana Tuna or how it came to be, but it was a phenomenon. And they were like $180 jeans or whatever. So like in the Midwest, when you're in 8th grade, you just want a pair of Gerbeau's. Like that's all you're asking for Christmas. And I found one pair at a garage sale and so I was like, oh my gosh. And they were like my Friday jeans. And I got a white pair for one Christmas from my Oma from Backstage Fashion. Remember that place? Oh my God. They had the fresh supply of Gerbeau's. And I was like, because Andreas Mr. Fashion from California, I'm like, how have you not heard of Gerbeau's? It blew my mind. But I think it was just, again, regions. There's a lot of little, not even too young. No.
Jeans with the triangle face? Did you guys have
It's
that?
not the same.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I mean, you're a millennial, and you should know about Gerbeau's, Julia. I'm actually kind of ashamed that you don't. But I'm not going to say it's because you don't know about fashion. I think it's a regional. And maybe if anybody ever watches this, maybe we'll find out in the comments more about the Gerbeau's. Anyway, moving along. So I asked Crystal to be here, and she, I think she was asleep a little bit ago, and she popped back up. She's like, yeah, for sure join a show if you're going to be talking about the big 3. And this is something I just learned about a few weeks ago. I was having like a 3-way chat with Julia and Dee, and you went over mine and a friend of yours, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of spot on. And then I started looking into more of like the psychological studies on the moon and bipolar, and just tons of data came back on synchronicities to using the moon, plan alignment, and using it as kind of a guide and a reference system to not just judge people, but to know for yourself. And then you can kind of prepare for things that are possibly coming, or know times in alignment that are really good for you to like purge things from your life or plan to do something or make changes. And I never like bought into that or horoscopes or any of that. But then now Julia will be telling me something, and it's like after the day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did she know that all that crap happened to me today, or that I felt like that, or like what the heck is going on? So some of these things were impacting me, and I had to get the science behind it. And I was able to get a ton of articles and data on the validity of it. And it's very interesting. And they have actually done Crystal's big 3. Ooh. And I gave that, right? I think you guys gals had time to look into it a little bit.
I didn't really do the big 3. I did a couple of things that I wanted to, I thought were important
to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do that. And then we might, maybe we'll get sidetracked or not, but we'll kind of focus on this and see where it goes. Because I'm interested to see what they think about you. So
yeah, I feel like I know you.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Julia.
No, you go. Birthday girl.
Yeah, birthday girl.
All right. Well, do you know your basic? Do you know your big 3?
No.
Are you into? Yeah, I guess you're okay. You're not into astrology at all.
No.
Okay, well, you are a Leo sun. Did you know that?
I knew
Is this your
Leo.
sun? Okay, all right, okay. All right, and you are a Libra moon, a Mercury Leo, a Venus in Cancer, a Mars Libra, a Jupiter Scorpio, a Saturn in Libra, a Uranus in Sagittarius, a Neptune in Sagittarius, a Pluto in Libra. Your North Node is in Cancer, your Chiron is in Taurus, your ascendant is Virgo. And well, I guess it would have been nice to be, I don't know, deep dive into your big three, because those are the ones that are supposed to be the most, I don't know, the most
Telling?
impactful, the most relevant.
Let me tell Crystal though. So all the things that Dee just said to you that were
Mhm.
like whoo over my head, because
Yeah.
I'm the dumb Astro girl. These are the smart Astro girls, and we're like going to collaborate to
She's an
like get me
astrophysicist.
up to. Oh, I'm an astrophysicist. So
Yeah.
there's people watching right now that when Dee was listening to that off, they're like, oh, yep. Like they know everything she's saying, and it's like a whole different type of knowledge and awareness that people like live in and understand as a part of daily like living. It's really interesting. And so as she was kind of rattling that off, I'm sure there's people in the chat that understood everything that she was saying. And so then we can kind of get caught up on what any of that means.
Sure.
All right.
Hopefully. Your sun is more your inner self, because your ascendant is more your outer self. It's what you present to the world. But you may not necessarily, when you read it, you may not necessarily, relate to it all that much, but how you appear. So you come off as a Virgo. You're analytical and smart, and a bit of a perfectionist maybe. And your moon is in Libra, and Julia's a Libra, and the houses also. What? Can you hear me? Okay.
I'm just this is me reacting. It's like a reaction video. I should
Okay.
turn my video off because I haven't
I
heard
thought you
had a
were
whole
saying
conversation.
something.
I know Crystal really well, and I'm like judging this like they got me so well. They're not going to get my friends. This is like a fluke, right? But no, I know you guys got it, so I'll just be quiet.
You're good. The houses also in which the planet falls in is also relevant, but first things first. So your moon is in Libra, and Julia, will you kind of tell her? So the moon is your emotional side, and it's kind of how you emote. How you can you
Wait,
as a Libra.
Like moon in Libra is very
Yeah.
fair. Like you're always gonna put yourself in other people's shoes of like, oh, you go to feel a certain way and you don't go forward with staying in that feeling because you then see that other person's side. Like you go to like, okay, wait, how would I feel if I was them? Okay, maybe I shouldn't stay pissed, where you kind of check your emotions and you're emotionally balanced. So people are going to come to you and really want to be heard, because you'll kind of you'll talk them down from feeling a certain way, of like, whoa, because you provide that, because that's the way you're wired, or that's how you're wired to, like, before you go too far or stay in that emotion, you check yourself and you evaluate it and you look at it from the other perspective. And then you're like, okay. So when you are pissed about something or upset, it's usually validated. Like you're never, being overly sensitive or overreacting, not that I'm saying that you don't do that, but that tendency of, like, oh, that, you know what I'm
You're
saying,
more
right?
logical. You're more logical with the way that you think, because Libra is an air sign, and air is it's thinking and analyzing and being more cerebral, and so it's actually kind of hard for air signs to be emotional or understand, but it's going to depend on their moon. So a sun air. I'm a sun air. I'm an Aquarius. Julia is the Libra, and Britt is a Leo. Britt is more fiery, passionate. She can express herself a lot more. And so as a sun and Leo, you're both Leos. So Britt, do you have a description and how you kind of, relate to Leo
Well,
or feel as a Leo?
I was going to say with Crystal, as far as like analytical to a fault, like the thought that you put into something, it's just really spot on. Just in knowing you and how you think about stuff, and when it's not logical and there's not like a reason, you're just like, I can't process this. Like I have to say something because they're not dealing in logic. Yeah. And I just think that the funny thing is like they could have picked a ton of different stuff to kind of point out about you, and that's kind of what they did. And just in knowing you, it's just interesting that they.
Oh, that's just a basic overall though. I'm about to hit.
She's about to tell you your soul.
Okay, go ahead. This is great.
I do want to say that you have a yod in your chart, and it's called the finger of God, and it's a rare pattern that is in people's, not everybody has one, in other words, and it points to your Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And it is supposed to be something very faded in your life that you need or should figure out. And it can be, generational issues, problems with family or whatever, but it's something you need to heal, and potentially it's faded. So you are potentially fated to do something very important, dealing with it, maybe helping others or teaching others. Okay, so
could this be a cycle of the thing? Because I know that Crystal has a tendency to like literally rescue every animal, even some that are actually owned by people that she thinks might have been abandoned, and then can almost get like charged for kidnapping animals, which has actually happened to her when she's. Yeah, I mean, there's. Well, no, I'm talking about the dog that you stole.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the cat, but
many years ago that you thought was a stray. But always helping, and like she's like allergic to cats. Or she used to be. I think you've probably got immune from it because you just like that thing that's a stray. I must help it. Yeah. You're like calling in people that can rescue animals in the middle of the night. Anyway, that's so I think that resonates. I don't know if it's cyclic or if that's part of the thing you're saying that's a constant thing in life. Or
I'm assuming it would be my childhood.
Faded.
Her Venus is in Cancer, and Venus is love.
So is Brittany's.
Okay, and I don't necessarily think that it has to be just relationship love, but maybe that's why you love animals, because Cancer is very caring and nurturing. But your Chiron is in Taurus, and that is
my Chiron's in Taurus. Ayo.
Is it? Okay, well you're about to learn. Mine is too, actually. Now that I think about it. I forgot. I don't know when your Chiron is, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, maybe Taurus and Chiron is or Chiron in Taurus is significant to your love of animals. But let's see. So
I don't even know if you love, or is it just that you have to like save them? I mean, is it like do you bond with these animals? Can I just ask and interrupt this whole thing? Because
that's okay.
I'm wondering if it's more of like you think about what happens to animal and you want to make sure it's okay. Or you love the animal and you want to be around it.
Anyone I know with Venus and Cancer is just they're almost like a Dr. Doolittle, like a vet, like where they're just like an animal talker. Like they speak to the animals seek them out and stuff. No, like they just love their little vets.
Weird. Like, they seek you out. It's bizarre. All right.
Taurus is also, I think, connected to mother, the mother, very nurturing. And so anyway, so maybe your core wounds have something to do with vulnerability, fear, and insecurity. You need to heal your materialism, or you might have a toxic mother wound, which maybe a lot of women do, actually. but maybe I just say that because I can relate, because I'm a Chiron Taurus as well. Let's see. You need to become the divine feminine. So get in touch with your divine feminine, and if you don't understand what that is, just look up divine feminine characteristics and what it really means.
Okay.
You have a deep need for intimacy and closeness, but you have difficulty trusting. It's more fulfilling when you learn to trust others first before you become intimate. And that's just kind of in general. So try to, trust people before you connect on a soul or heart, level.
Yeah.
And it'll be more fulfilling, because if you do push intimacy too quick, you'll tend to feel empty. Like the connection is difficult.
She's like, I've been married since my teens.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And you are still married, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been together 25 years.
Nice. That's a
awesome.
long time.
Yeah.
It says, life is marked by intense emotional highs and lows, which this seems so generic, but maybe some other people are just like, I'm pretty even keeled or whatever, but I think I relate to it. But intense highs and lows, mood swings, and possible impulsive decisions and behaviors.
Oh yeah.
That you might regret almost immediately after.
Mm-hmm.
It
Brittany,
suggests
stop laughing.
It suggests that you don't become over focused on perfectionism, or perfecting the details of things, and lose sight of other important or more important things.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one for me.
I can relate to.
Yeah.
Don't feel overly obligated towards people. Don't lose yourself in becoming a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Don't become sensitive about what others think.
True.
And this has a lot to do with, and it'll kind of go touch on it, but self-acceptance is very important.
Yeah.
And recognize what makes you feel insecure and inadequate, and it will aid in your healing. And it's all about accepting your flaws, because you have no reason to be insecure, and you aren't inadequate. That's just how you feel. You think others kind of see you.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Word.
Let's see. You do need to watch out for. This seems like a contradiction, but I think it's more of a Taurian, a Taurus characteristic. But it says that you need to watch out for only caring about yourself. You need to watch out for being materialistic, or being overly focused on materialistic things. You get too caught up with your loved ones, maybe intrusive. It says you have deep insecurity. And again, like, figure out what that is, and once you identify it, accept it.
Yeah.
But this is ridiculous. It says you have high self-esteem, but no self-worth.
Yeah.
Which, maybe
Wow.
maybe you understand that better.
I do.
I thought it was
Yeah,
so very
that's nuts.
contradicting.
That's gnarly.
No, that
Um,
that
That
makes complete
is-
sense
that's-
to me.
And you
Wow.
know, people are full of contradictions. So this doesn't, you
Right.
know, when you hear a contradiction about yourself or in a chart, in someone's chart, it's both. You know, it's both. You are both. You are the contradiction. Because we're so
It helps
complex.
you it helps you recognize too, like,
Yeah, for sure.
I know that's what I do. You
Just
could adjust it.
understanding yourself more helps you
Yeah.
heal.
Yep.
Let's see. And because you are the Taurus, you are a Taurus, and because it's Chiron, you are the wounded healer. You fear losing everything. You might have past life flashbacks. Have you ever?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you want to talk maybe an instant?
Like past lives, like not this life, like out of this.
Oh,
Well,
What?
you know what? However you interpreted it, go ahead.
I would say my younger years. I wouldn't say
Okay.
a past life.
That's
for
fine.
sure.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
past,
all
your
right.
past life. This
Well,
life.
I mean,
Yeah.
it can be I see what you're saying, Brittany, and yes, that's but she may not know that, about past lives, but how she interpreted it is fine too, because it can be, with your
past.
childhood, absolutely,
Yeah.
because this is
Yeah, me
your
6 years
core
ago was
wound.
like several past lives ago.
Yeah. Sometimes you meet people that you feel like you know them, and like there's a connection that's it's unlike any other. Maybe
Yeah.
your husband was a past, maybe you knew him in a previous life,
Mhm.
not just this one, and you guys might have a soul contract, or your soulmates, or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so healing can come from self-reflection, reflection on how you were raised. It can come through dreams, meditation, therapy, or couples counseling. Studying and teaching others about topics your Chiron would relate to, which would be whatever you're insecure about, or traumatic things from your childhood.
Sure.
Spiritual awakening also will lead you in becoming fully one within yourself. So, and astrology is a big tool also. It's a spiritual thing, maybe you are, just by being open to astrology or listening to us,
Yeah.
that you are, maybe this is the beginning of your spiritual awakening.
Sure.
Let's see, I have just a little bit more. It says you are capable of healing yourself by transforming your pain into something positive.
Mm-hmm.
You're always there for your friends, and to encourage them to follow their dreams, and to definitely help them through tough times. You're careful. Be careful not to glorify oneself. You may find it hard to trust your instincts, and your intuition also. You should heal alone first, by exploring new things and learning new skills. Ask yourself what you need to feel safe, and you will understand what needs to change and stay the same in times of uncertainty. Learn to accept and understand yourself better to heal the most and be the happiest that you can be. And I'm almost finished, but I also
love
wanted to, this is going to be so Julia's gotten me more into looking into asteroids, because they give more nuance, also. So
Yes.
they are,
asteroids.
and I
Down,
picked
Julia.
one, and
Go
I
ahead.
picked one for you. There's many, and they're all kind of, there's a theme with like Greek goddesses. They're named after Greek goddesses, and mostly goddesses. But I picked out Psyche for you. I don't know why I like it. I just like that asteroid. And yours is in Virgo, which was also your, was it North Node? No.
Her,
It was your
ascendant.
Yes. So how you present yourself. It says Virgo imparts to Psyche the ability to process info quickly and analytically while having a deep desire to physically interact with the world around them. You realize your physical wants and needs, which I guess some people may not be able to, figure those things out so easily. You think deeply and profoundly, and you're very down to earth. The ability to look at your past experiences from many different angles to chart your life, your path in life. You crave to serve others and a constant need to be working and of service. Do you relate to that?
Yeah.
That last thing you said was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Especially, I just know what she does in her, like, the career
Do you
dynamic.
deal with kids?
The first thing you said about
Kind of,
concise,
no.
fast response, like what she has to do is immediate response of
okay.
like nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With your job, you have to be able to
You
turn.
can say what it is.
Well, she's a court reporter, so she has to sit through some horrifying things and literally
I see.
transcribe immediate.
Like family court?
Oh,
Everything.
bad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
anyway,
Interesting.
we'll get into those stories later, maybe, and we won't call you
Okay.
Crystal. We'll give you an alias.
Yes.
And then I'll delete this episode so that. Anyway.
It says you would feel horrible about yourself if ever forced to trick or mislead people in order to make a profit. I thought that was important to say because it was very specific,
Yeah.
A need to be the best version you can be and better than you were before.
Yep.
And that's the end of where the end of what I wrote down.
Wow.
I love that.
Here's the thing, though. Now we got to get Greg on here. And I want to see him do Greg's while you guys sit there. That'd be so great.
Greg's the husband.
Her husband, yes. No, actually, after this, you have to send me his information. I just want them to like tell me on the side so I can just be like, oh my God. Because I mean.
And we could potentially do a.
Wait, you girls are
opposite.
best friends. No, you and Brittany are both Leos with Venus and Cancer, and you both are with
both
Pisces. And you both have Pisces partners.
And
their ascendants
a lot
and their ascendants are Virgo.
Oh. And a lot of Pisces. Oh wait, I thought his ascendant was Aquarius.
No, these two, both of their ascendants.
Oh, theirs are okay. All right.
So they have.
Oh yeah, I don't know what any of that means. I'm the dumb Astrogirl.
So they're both Sun and Leo.
Ascendant, descendant. I don't like.
It is interesting.
To break it down even further, is that part of like the big three? You have the
yes,
the
you're right. Your sun, moon, and rising, and your rising is your ascendant. It's the same thing, just a different word.
It's what you want to become, or like what you're.
The moon is your inner you and your emotional. Your rising is the public you, how people perceive you. Venus is
rising is the public you is different than the inner you. Ooh.
Well, see, I say the sun is the inner you because it's the
there's so many disagreements. This is like an argument,
right?
I could argue.
And then the moon is the emotional, but it all
hash it out. What do you think?
I think it all, like your whole chart is pretty much your ego. So it's your ego, and then it's everything is just under the umbrella of the ego.
What is my inner me versus my personified me? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Your outer you, you're the one that how people see you. You're a Virgo, and so you would be analytical or perfectionist.
They see you critical. unpleasable,
or
I
you
can
can't.
never satisfy her.
that's a lower vibration, like, so when you're in a lower
Only
frequency,
some
you're
people
going to
would
be
say that.
the negative attributes of the sign.
Efficient, reliable,
Okay.
dependable.
Grounded, practical.
This is how people see me. I would say
Maybe
that's
it's how you come off.
Hold on. No. I come off as like chaos, kind of, and like, woo, all over the place.
I don't see you as chaos. I mean,
Right.
I think my
you're
students,
busy,
though,
but you're able to, piece it together and do okay with it. I mean, you have a lot going on, but you
there's
have
always a lot
kids and-
going on.
You know what I mean?
Maybe you feel chaotic, but
Yeah.
you hide it well.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. I think a lot of people might disagree. Interesting. That's my rising, my presentation.
Both of your risings.
Myself.
Yeah.
Well,
I suppose when I was a
both
teacher,
of your
I-
ascendants.
Ascendants.
Mhm.
Interesting. What's the real self?
But Mercury,
Chaos?
Mercury is like how you communicate.
Mm-hmm. Your real self is
Excellent.
your whole chart kind of just combined.
I'll have to do mine again. How do I communicate? Through
Your
like
Mercury
telepathic?
is in Virgo, so you could be skeptical, rational. Like you're gonna hear something and be like, like, is that the case? Let me research. Let me check that out. Like so it's gonna be rational and very precise. So when you
Slightly.
communicate, nobody's ever like, I don't know what she means. They're very like, yes,
Thorough.
concise, it's accurate, it's boom. It's a great placement to have. Not only that, but Mercury, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So like the best Mercury placements you can have is either in Gemini or Virgo because they're both ruled by Mercury. And so people, which I like idolize people with like placements like that with Mercury because of where my Mercury is and how that's like a challenge for me. But so Virgo and Mercury, nobody's ever going to be confused. So your communication is perfect. It's like bam, 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 bam.
But then I get like nervous. So like last night we're on this Real Science show and I like have all these things I want to say and I'm jumbling my words and I'm asking questions and it's like it probably comes off as like and I was like, dang, I wish I could have said what I wanted to say or like not come off as a
Well, in those environments too, like in that setup, it's like you got to find windows. It's like when you're walking, and then there's like Indiana Jones or something, and then there's things like blades and stuff that fly in the way and could back. It's like timing it so you don't get cut off. It's like that timing that has nothing to do with you. And at the same time, a lot of information is coming at you. You got Rife talking about things, and you're applying it of like atmospheric energy, and then Jeremiah comes in and says something. Brilliant.
I know, and that's
you're
like
applying
Wilhelm
it to
Reich
your
stuff,
past
and I'm
research.
like,
with Wilhelm, and then you're like computing overload, like, and
It
you're trying
was.
to look for windows
I
to
was
ask this
writing stuff
question and
down.
you apply that. Yeah.
And then I said like discharge instead of distribution, some wrong words, and I got But that was last night. That was really fascinating. This is also fascinating. I feel like privy because I know Crystal since like long time and good friend, and so I was skeptical about this stuff, and then you started telling me stuff about me, and I was like, whoa, that's spot on. I told Crystal today, I'm like, you got to have these girls just kind of tell you some stuff because they're not. It's not like they're selling anything. They just are interested in it, and it could be really helpful. And what's funny is a few days ago, Julia's like, now don't forget today, write down what you want to manifest. And I honestly, if I have it, I got to grab it because I literally cleared my head and I was like, psh. And it has something to do with, I would just like to be a part of something that can improve or help people with their mental, psychological, like physical well-being in some way. And that's like my real goal. What I wanted to write was like, I want to create new schools where all children will have the right to learn with free, like, this is like my mission, right? But you told me to like really focus on that. And so as I'm watching this process happen, I'm like, this is really helpful. Like even for me to watch you kind of talk to somebody through it and just processing yourself, you know, it's just interesting. So it's funny that I wrote down something that I'll grab it and see what I wrote because it's right over here. Because that's not what I normally would have written. And now that we finally did our first show, because we were gonna do this yesterday and talk about my sister's behind her back. Because paradigm shift, I'm like, to improve the well-being of humankind at will, like to make it just a broad statement, just the well-being and overall general. But it was just a program that physical, emotional, mental health, to those who choose to watch or that want to engage in this. And that was never what I want to do. Like my mission. So don't believe this, everybody, even though it says
is so powerful.
Make
especially
your
how, like,
dreams happen. My daughter's notebook. Like don't
you can
believe
really
this.
make that happen.
I think I gave you that
online school and film. Like, it's a feasible thing.
That is probably did.
And yes, you are speaking it into existence.
But that was not my mission. It's still to make schools. Dang it. Don't listen to what I said. Although I did recognize that what I wrote and what I'm observing you all do with Crystal was like, that seems helpful. And it helped me somehow, even though like it wasn't directed at me. I was like, wow, interesting. Because again, this is new to her. It was new to me. And a lot of the people that follow what Andreas does and what you're doing this is common knowledge to them. And so as I'm getting I'm going to finish my PhD in psychology, I kind of want to relate it to getting some of the studies and data on these like astrological readings and the moon alignment and what it does to people. Because like Julia will tell me, oh, you must have been like you should have been on high alert like 2 days ago. I'm like, well, thanks. Where was that 2 days ago? And I was like, you know, like, she's like, oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm not like, I can't like keep track of your life for you. But having that awareness would have helped me to like prepare for the week and been like, all right, on this day, just maybe do a little extra meditation and know that I'm on, you know, it does give you insight into your own life and some of your emotions. And it's not like I haven't tracked it or anything. It's always after the fact that I'm finding out from you that things were going on that you don't even know. Like, I'm not saying, hey, Julia, I had a bad day. Anything going on in my chart? It's like, she's like, hey, by the way, I just wanted to let you know, I don't know how your yesterday was. But
I knew a transit she was going through. And I was like, oh, you got to hear about this. Like, you're going to feel really creative and you're going to have all these ideas come in. And
that was another time. And it's always been like spot on because I'll be like the day before or whatever until I get that it's happening. So it's really interesting to me that it's not like the placebo effect. You're telling me something and then it's happening later. It's happening to me, and then you're telling
billionaires billionaires making moves. Like Trump, anytime he announced any big plans, it was always during like a Mars transit. Every single one.
Really?
And so it's like if successful people are using it, like there's clearly some something here. Or
maybe they don't even realize. I'm sure he realizes that he was using it, but there's some people that it's just like patterned, you know.
Right.
Wow.
I want to clarify that Chiron is also an asteroid, but I hope Julia found your black moon Lilith.
I did not.
Dang it.
What's that? What did you say about the black moon? What?
The black moon Lilith.
Yeah, dude. Me and Dee are into that because it's like your subconscious, all this stuff.
The dark goddess.
Can you look into it while we go to a musical break?
Oh, we want to do a break? Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll do a musical break.
Are you looking
at the Jean Jacket show where everyone goes.
Right.
Huh?
I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up.
You are?
I think, and if it's not, I think it's cool. So that's all that matters, I guess.
It's totally cool.
Yeah, so Brittany, me, you, and Dee, we all three of us are North
Can you see
Node
me?
is Cancer. No, we can't. But
Mhm.
we
I
can
don't,
hear
I don't know.
you.
North Node and Cancer. I don't know what that means. Remember, I'm the dumb Astrogirl.
That is what the destiny, like, what's kind of what we're supposed to be going towards.
What is our
becoming.
destiny? What am I?
Right.
What is our
The
destiny?
Cancer? Well, I mean,
We have the
I'm-
same destiny.
well, I don't know. Not
Maybe-
like specifically that, but like it would be to learn the same things, lessons, become the same
Embodying the same energy, which is like
Yeah.
totally like divine in that Cancer of it being divine feminine, highly intuitive, and very motherly. So, you know,
Nurturing and-
you're doing the
yeah.
schools thing. Mine is teaching people intuition and doing, like the priestess.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the
He is
different
gonna cause
aspects
the
of that.
revolution
Hmm?
or the rebellion. We'll see.
Hold on just a second.
Peaceful rebellion.
We're gonna change the world through love, basically.
All right. And it would be cool to take in call-ins. Someone calls in and is like, "Hey, my birthday is this. Can you do a quick reading?" And you guys could just give them like a quick summary. That would be awesome too.
I think that's what, yeah. Because I
Like
always
love
think
line.
like,
So I keep abolishing these ideas I have, but there's so
Am I
much to
back?
study. So yes, you're back.
Sorry.
You
Okay,
have the
okay.
floor, birthday
Sorry.
girl.
Okay.
We'll be singing
it
to you at the end of
is-
this.
Your
wait.
black moon Lilith is in Capricorn, which mine is too.
same with D.
Yeah.
Where's mine?
Mine?
What does that mean?
Or
That is okay. Well, let me.
Okay, you
let me
do
go back.
you two first.
will-
Fine. I'm gonna shut up.
What?
We'll do mine later.
What?
Focus on Crystal.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to. I'll have to look yours up. Do you remember what Brittany's black moon Lilith
No,
is? Okay,
I
Julia,
don't know.
can you
figure
look
it out.
up
Hold
mine
on.
while she does crystals on the
Yeah.
side? Trinity, D. You do crystals, and Julia will get going on mine. Sorry. And I know
Okay.
nobody watching this cares, but I'm sorry. I care.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can.
It says that Crystal, you are. It suggests that you are stubborn and do everything you want, and you get what you want.
yes.
Hold on just a second. Let me.
I'm so glad Greg's not here.
Me too. Or my kids.
You desire perfection and completeness, but you struggle with reaching it. For some reason, it may seem like unexpected hurdles are along your path, like deliberately, kind of
Every day.
So yes, okay, all right. You likely have issues with structure, hierarchy, and authorities. You let's see, people with this placement, they rebel against order, and it takes a lot of work for them to create a structure that serves them. Simply put, growing up is one of their most important life lessons. Let's see, it is likely. Let's see.
Crazy. That's nuts.
Don't tell her the nasty stuff, D.
Yeah, tell me.
But she wants to hear it.
She's probably, it's Black Moon Lilith, so I'm picturing D like, oh, can't say that.
I know, she's like,
We'll wait for that one.
eh,
I'm not sure.
eh.
No,
Don't
Yeah,
do
tell
it.
me.
She's open. She's ready.
Yeah.
She went through
Well,
some
I'm not
shit.
really. Well, it's a good
That's true.
guess, but no, it's actually like kind of just mundane info, like describing Lilith that I wasn't. But no, there are dirty things I'm sure that I could find in it, but because I don't. It might be like underlying repressed, like sexual things also, but that would be like. Everyone's black moon Lilith is that maybe repressed things, but whatever it's in It's going to depend on
Dude,
what types
Brittany
of
does
things.
too. So listen carefully,
Mm.
Brittany. All
What's mine?
3 of you have Black Moon and Lilith.
Mm.
What does that
Okay,
even mean?
so it
What
says
does black moon mean? When is a black moon? Like right now? What is
it's the darker side of the
self?
emotions,
Okay.
even. It could, yeah, it's
So when I get dark, this is where it could go if I don't watch my Black Moon Lilith, or like I'm trying to
possibly.
paraphrase this and how to like guide myself. Okay.
It might be.
Yes, I'm
actually-
laughing at Crystal. I'm like, this kind of
Yeah.
resonates with me, but
Well,
I
it
didn't
says
know.
that
I didn't know. I thought maybe.
it can be difficult to kind of admit to, though, a lot of these things. Like maybe you don't. Maybe some of these things are hard to see in yourself. I'm not sure.
Expecting, what
But-
was it? Expecting perfection or expecting things to get done certain ways?
Stubborn.
And completeness. Yeah, you desire perfection and completeness, but you struggle with
struggle
reaching
with
it.
Yeah.
And you also, growing up is one of the important life lessons. And let's see. So it suggests early experiences with hardships, displacement, had to take responsibility much earlier than most people do in life.
Mhm.
They,
See, I don't resonate with
like-
that, but that resonates with Crystal for shizzle.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
Gavin when I was 19. So
I'm talking too with
Mm.
like your just family and everything. Like
Oh, yeah,
you're
that too.
always
Well,
responsible.
the Black Moon Lilith represents trauma, pain, rebellion, shame, rejection.
Oh,
strife,
I was bullied. Brittany on the bus
Mm.
home. Remember that? Crystal knows my
and
torment.
it shows you where you have some like hidden issues in the subconscious,
my
like this darker
bullying.
part of your brain.
Oh my god! I gotta get over the bullying. That's my insecurities. Yeah, I was bullied, and
Okay.
that's why I became like a health teacher. But it still scars me today. Crystal was like the friend that was like, "She's cool, guys," and then I got good at sports and was really athletic and like should have been like, ooh, confident and happy. But I was always like this little bullied Brittany,
Ridiculed.
where I
Were
rode
you
on
new?
the
Did
church
you ever-
bus. Like
Well,
Brittany.
you're healing that. You're healing part of yourself, a
The
perversion
whole
of
way home,
yourself
people were
that,
screaming it.
by coming out and speaking and not caring what people say, or healing that, part of yourself.
But I did try to change from what I learned from being bullied. But Crystal was like the accepting of me and was like, "She's cool, guys." This was like the coolest cat.
Here, let me see if you relate to this. It says becoming emotionally independent, but at the same time being able to experience love and intimacy is a core theme here. Lilith here asks you to find balance between independence and acknowledging vulnerability. Learning to let go is another important lesson.
yeah,
It is hard to let go sometimes, yeah.
for sure.
Let's see. You can be afraid of showing your vulnerable side to people. This is a consequence of the lack of security in your family of origin. Okay, is a sign of insecure attachment styles, which is, those are always interesting to look up what your attachment style is, in relationships.
Think about what he was saying about my Black Moon Lilith. Remember, I was like, "What?" Saying like I'm like into women and stuff, like and some crazy kinky stuff. I was like,
you can lean towards bisexuality or something.
Acknowledge
I
it,
haven't gotten to
Julia.
that part yet.
Now is your time. We will force it out of you. Tell us. Your time.
I
Just
might-
kidding. Totally kidding. Would never do that.
I might be on the wrong. Sometimes uses sexuality as a means to an end. It is rather calculated in this manner. And
For Julia?
"No, this is you guys."
Me?
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
Start
seem
over.
like I
Start
would
over.
be.
What was that? I'm sorry. I was like, no, but Julia's like a body double in like sex stuff on movies. That makes sense. I said it means to an
well,
end.
that's not Julia.
I know now. No, I have to repeat what you
No, I'm
said.
just kidding.
Okay, sorry. I'll mute. Sorry.
You're okay. Let's see. Let me go off more, if they say more about that. No, not really. It just basically says that we're prostitutes. We would be good at being prostitutes.
But there's no money involved in any of the sexual solicitation.
Oh, let me see.
What would it say in
Okay.
general? I was thinking it was.
Okay, so the
I removed
house of
it.
Lilith tells you in, oh, that's the house of Lilith. Okay, let me read this. Okay, it says Lilith is a female demonic figure in Jewish folklore. So that is the symbol of.
But there's a lot of people that
that's
argue
the
that and
archetype.
say like, no, she was the original
Right.
pure. Like, well,
What
she
does
was the
David
original
Quaid
pure
say?
one? The first wife, and
Say she was good.
that like basically that there like Eve was the synthetic, like there's so many layers, there's so many different things, that
Yeah.
Lilith was the original pure like woman, like the epitome of a woman, right?
She
like,
refused to submit to Adam,
Oh,
as in
like,
Adam and
so-
Eve.
yeah.
she
I
was the
remember this now.
like she was the first wife, and like or the first like pure woman. I'm taking a different direction.
She didn't come from
Yeah.
Adam's rib. I'm just kidding.
And that Eve was like more of like one that was that they took parts of Lilith and then like made like a
I remember
synthetic version, like one that they could control and whatever with Eve, but the story's inverted. But I'm taking this, like, I'm complicating it by getting into that.
Okay.
Well,
I think Nathan,
the story,
should have boys on to discuss this too.
the story of Lilith with her not submitting to Adam is it's the story that represents the rejection. So Lilith represents the rejection of the independent feminine and its oppression under patriarchy. And let's see, God
a lot of people will
punished
say
her.
like Lilith is bad though. Like
She rejects the oppression under patriarchy. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, I keep interrupting you because I'm taking it like way off books, like way like you say what the books say. Say.
Yeah. I'm just reading off of this site just to, but it does represent the wild feminine, the female sexuality, seduction, integrity, right, dignity. However, Lilith has a darker association too. It's linked with shame, trauma, rejection, grief, strife. It is connected with the unconscious, and the themes of Lilith are usually repressed, accessible only through deep introspection and shadow work. Which is beautiful. She's a beautiful,
that resonates
archetype.
Totally. But I would love to hear like David and Nathan Emerald. They've talked Lilith before. What's going on? But that is interesting. If it's more of that kind of subliminal things in your psyche, buried your subconscious, the repressed subconscious,
everything we're trying to hide.
Yeah.
Right. That's what our biggest problem is. And the fact that our subconscious mind is like, imagine like 30,000 times stronger than ours. So it pilots our reality. And if everybody's going around ignoring it or suppressing it or hiding it, like
we're still acting in it unconsciously though.
We're creating like, is that why so many evil things are manifested,
True.
You never know.
But how do you acknowledge that then? Like, if it's like
deep
a trauma,
introspection,
it's
like admitting the bad things about you that you don't want to believe, but being honest with yourself,
right?
Really,
because a lot of people more identify with like the government's bad, it's doing this and this is doing that, but not realizing like, well, what are you doing? what are you doing? How many negative thoughts did you think about yourself today?
And so Lilith is the shadow work we have to do on ourselves. The shadow work that's so tough. Okay.
And if more people did do that, they would feel more, I guess, they would feel more free. And it is very, liberating to identify those things, heal them. And you do as a person. So if we all did our shadow work, perhaps we could be, we could all be just more free. Just
Can you like shadow work
collectively,
me on the
individually.
show? Like,
shadow work's more something.
I'm just
you
kidding.
have
I
to
think it's
do on
pretty
your
sure.
own.
Pretty sure it's on your own. I just got a
But
lecture
we
about
can help.
shadow work
We
from
can
my friend
help. We can
Ellen for
Oh,
like
okay.
on and on. It was about the shadow work that she has to do. I'm like, you're like perfect. If you have to do all this shadow work, what the hell does that
Wait,
mean for me?
What did she say? What did she say?
Oh, just my
Like-
friend Ellen. She's like on this. I'm not going to tell you because you're doing her chart. Pretend I didn't see any of that. We're not talking
She's
about
a-
Ellen. Done.
Okay.
But she like is telling me what to do. I got to do
I
it.
feel like Ellen
I want you to
rules
do it
shadow
for
work.
me.
That's why you're saying things.
Yeah, you
that's
better do what Ellen tells you to do.
Oh
We're
my
just
gosh,
saying.
that's what I've learned. She was
And
like,
that's
"No,
what
Brittany, you
I
don't
learned, too.
understand. There's a lot worse than what you know. They're like, they've trafficked children, and I don't want you to find out
You're-
about that and get set." I'm
you're
like,
in really
"Whatever,
big trouble.
whatever. There's
You're
no
in-
such thing as like
You're
children."
in
death."
really big trouble if you don't listen to Ellen.
I know it happens every time, and then like for a year, I'm like, "She's crazy. She's nuts." And then I'll look into it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Johnny Gosh, this kid." Like he was kidnapped, but the police knew about it, and I'm like, "This is a whole ring."
And then he was working at the
Ellen
White
talked
House.
about
They
this
saw
for,
him
like,
working at the White
2
House.
years. Yeah, she's
Is
She's
he the
into
one that said
He was taken.
watch the
Paperboy.
documentary.
said that Hunter S. Thompson like filmed a lot of the
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
Crystal,
know.
Yeah.
by the way, come back. We were just talking about all the shadow work I have to do.
No, I'm here.
What you have to do, but like you're already done with it pretty much.
Ellen's like should initiate
no,
you
wait, hold
into
on.
shadow work.
Ellen's gonna
Crystal,
like baptize me. I need
Julia's
another
gotta do
baptism. I
Ellen.
need to be rebaptized when it's the Black Lilith stuff. Crystal, how did you feel about that? Did you think that resonated?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
You, you identify with the inner prostitute in you. Too.
Absolutely.
Do I?
Yes.
can I get a shirt? I identify with my inner prostitute.
Yes. That
What does
needs
it
to be
even
a
mean?
shirt.
I identify as prostitute.
Oh Jesus! A prostitute of
You
myself.
gotta tap into that inner prostitute.
I don't know.
Don't tell Greg.
Jesus, I won't. I won't. But he's
You're
gonna
like,
come
where's all
on.
this money coming from?
So is this? Jesus.
Better do
Don't
far
know.
out.
So this, Crystal, do you say they were kind of on? Like I told you, like
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know if we'll do your astrology, but like they've been on for me. They said a couple
Yeah.
things about my sister, and I'm just kind of testing them because I'm calling like they're the smart asses and they're smart astrology, smart Astrogirls, and I want to be on that level. I want to learn that. But like Julia will meet someone and she'll be like, "Oh, you're Leo, and you're like born here," and oh, like all this. She like knows. And
She knows
it's
what
interesting.
hospital you're from and everything.
Yeah, she's
Reach, Bev,
like, you were born
Will.
at Mercy
Bev
Regency on the at 6:45 a.m.
Yes.
I'm usually 2 hours within people's birth time.
time.
Yeah.
Really?
One
That's
time,
ridiculous.
one time, Michelle, this girl Michelle, she was like, I don't know my birth time, and I put in a time. I was like, okay, I got you. You know, I didn't say anything, and then she's like, oh my god, I finally got my birth time for the first time in my life from my mom.
Yep.
And she put 4:44 p.m. and I was like, dude, I was right on the money. That's exactly what
Dude.
I put.
That's
Yeah.
when Ellen was
Wow.
born.
Yeah, that's a powerful time. Ellen.
444.
Yeah, I was like, I think
Yeah,
so.
that was an awesome.
Oh,
that's an
I
awesome
may
time
be
of
wrong,
birth.
but like, there's my first like smart Astro Girl thing. I'm like, Ellen was born. Put me on like something.
Now
I got it.
interpret.
There's a 444,
Yeah.
another 444. Put them together.
Which there's a lot of power in those types of numbers. Yeah.
My sister and I are born at the same time too, 8:46, just because my
Oh,
C-section, I
weird.
believe. C-section.
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Oh, that changes everything, doesn't
Oh,
it?
I think we should.
There's all
I think
my
we should
issues.
Also talk about the
Inducing?
the pop. Yes.
Like
the,
what bullshit that is? Oops. I said-
Yeah, and he said
Cheap.
bullshit.
Cheap.
But no, how common they do. You know how common it is.
Yeah.
It has become more and more.
For C-section.
To it's still,
No,
yeah.
for, like,
we were
yeah,
we
to
were
induce
going
birth,
into
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stefan has to join us for that. He's got like crazy like research on this. I don't even know. I can't follow it, but that would be great to have him on because he's
Well-
like done all that with like C-section and natural. I still don't know. The verdict is out on what
We're
he
coming from a
thinks is better, but
Julie and I are coming from a spot like it's fucking with somebody's birth chart, like they're
oh yeah,
Yeah,
when they're
you
supposed
know?
to be born.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing
yeah.
though. So also, I think they were doing it like small. Like my grandma had a very small pelvis, and my uncle they had to break his collarbone, and he almost like died being born. And so my mom had my grandma as her nurse and doctor. They used to have family practice doctors that were OBs. People might not even know that. Like my family practice doctor delivered me.
Yeah.
Like my doctor, so they were worried about it because they had to break my uncle's collarbone. That they just set that up, and you got to pick. Like I was picked to be born. I think on the and yeah. What if I was supposed to be born along like a different time, and now I'm all living in the wrong life?
Well,
right?
I
do
do think
then?
that there is a difference. I think there's a difference
what?
between, situations like that and just making it a common practice to do so it suits the doctor's schedule or
or the person, like the
vacation time.
celebrity that
like
wants
wanting
to,
the bed, wanting the bed space of like, oh, get in, get out. And so the induce it with Pitocin is huge, where they just get in, let's induce the labor, but really the trauma of it, the mother being in the panic, what that does to embodying the soul and the effects that has psychologically, like just the imprint.
The panic for what, labor or like the
distress that a mom is in when you go and when you go through the C-section, when you're being induced.
Okay,
because
hold on though. Here's a story. We should look into this more because my son was natural, like almost totally no nothing. I had my son on my birthday.
Okay,
that's interesting, right? But yeah, so they were both different, and I looked at it as like just so I could experience both, and I was like accepting of it. But yeah, when it was happening, I was like, this isn't supposed to be, but you know what? It is to be, and it has to happen. So but I don't know how I feel about it because there is something to the natural flow of when you're supposed to. But there's so many external factors now that are also.
It seems like why? Well, the point of it too. Why do you want to inflict trauma? And then just the trauma of the circumcision and getting. They talk about that in King Og. Have you guys ever read King Og? They talk about the war, dude. The book is. I mean, it's really good. But
King Og.
They talk about the war. It's about a giant.
I have not.
It's really good. But they talk about the war between the circumcised and the uncircumcised.
Oh, really?
That's what it's like in APM when it gets brought up, when a meme is talking about a circumcision.
Oh, and memes. You're talking about on the advanced philosophy memes?
Yeah.
I'm going to start posting those now.
Oh, they love to argue about it.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
And then you can tell who's got the slut and who's not got the slash.
Well, you can tell by what side they are.
By the responses.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
On to write stuff.
Do you know the big three then? Did you do that? Is that kind of what you explained?
I told her I told her what her big three are, but I didn't go in depth into them because I focused on Chiron and asteroid, but again, if she wants to look anything up, she can do her sun is Leo, her moon is Libra, and her ascendant is Virgo.
What does that mean? Her sun is this and her moon is that. What does that mean?
Her sun is her, I say her inner self, her unconscious self. And so
her sun is her unconscious self, and you're saying that is
it's what they identify with, like. Well,
yeah, it really does matter what, because some people don't identify with their sun, or they might feel more like their moon, but her sun is Leo, her moon is Libra.
Can you explain what those things mean too? Like,
I think her Venus in Cancer is like you, so what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, you go first, Dee. You go first.
Oh, I was just going to say, because she's got 4 planets in Libra, and one is her moon, and so she might identify a lot with her moon sign. But finish what you were saying about Venus in Cancer.
What, Crystal?
Is that why I'm so conflicted all the time?
Well, maybe. Well, Libra's really good at
go back and forth. They're like, do I do that? What's weighing everything out? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? Right when you're like on like, hey, you're leaning towards something. You're like, let me.
You always maybe weigh
you're probably
the pros
annoying
and
to order
cons.
stuff with at a restaurant. You're like, oh my god, you know what you want, but you want your husband to tell you what you should.
Oh,
do.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But you're also like really fair and just, and you don't like injustices at all. You can play devil's advocate really well. You can,
especially in your line of work. You're
Good
like,
Lord,
you
yeah,
probably
that's
are
like
literally in your
spot on.
head playing judge. Like she's
Oh,
like
always.
up there. Like,
Always.
That's
with
funny that
4
she's
planets
actually a
in
court
Libra and you're in the
reporter.
justice field. Like of course you are.
Because she loved that stuff, and I'm like, how can you like that? She's like, no, I just want to be in there. I want to be like, And I'm like,
yeah, I love
and she
to
just
but
did
not
it.
have
It's
any, I don't have to speak. I sit there and I can just analyze all of it
Right.
and read people by, watching them and kind of, pay attention to that and form what I think is happening or not happening or should happen before it does. So I love that.
Do you normally you can tell very easily who's in the right and wrong?
Absolutely.
Who the judge is going to side with. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that matters, because she doesn't, like, she's just there to do a job, and we're not like saying she's doing anything right other than that.
No.
But you have your opinion, and that's okay.
That she's influencing the judge.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, that's the prostitution part.
Yeah.
Just teasing. That was a bad joke. Sorry.
But Venus and Cancer, what were you saying, Julia?
They're super compassionate, understanding, loving, like generous. Like it's pretty much a difficult job to find someone that's like more of a caring companion in life. Like I'm a sucker for Venus and Cancers, big time. You guys are super nurturing, and your concern is like always centered around the home and the family, and you love all like things domestic, like all domestic things like children, animals.
That's what now
garden,
again,
taking care of things. Tending to things. It's heaven for you to tend to something.
Me too?
Yes, you guys are both Venus and Cancer, nurturing something,
Venus and Cancer,
tending to it and caring for it. That's your joy. Like, so I think, so
that's what I identify as right now. Are we doing
we're talking Venus. We're talking Venus. So this
what
is
I
like
am?
how you love. No, your Venus is in Cancer. So this is how you are. Like, this is your love style. This is you in a relationship.
Both of you,
we
you and
portray
Crystal.
ourselves. Like you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Venus and Cancer, yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh, we see it.
Yeah, my heart. I do. I wear it on my sleeve. I definitely.
They nurse, and nurture like everyone around them and everything around them, not just people. Plants, flower. Like, oh, let me get that. Like, oh, this is on the trash.
I've rescued dogs too, Crystal. We both had that ridiculous phase.
I know. They're like, get over here. Let me nurture you, but equally though, they need to feel they are safe, like safely taken care of. So that's
or they'll go into their shell.
So what happens? Like, when any of those is thrown off, then does that set somebody in?
Well, with Venus and Cancer, just talking about this aspect, because I know more about your chart, so just to focus on the Venus and Cancer part is what you would do is vengeful stuff, like kind of like, no, I'm going to train you. Like, I'm going to hold on to that. And I'm going to, do something of like one-upping, like, oh, you hurt my feelings 3 times. So now, where you get to a point where it's almost like a game, like a tab of like, okay, you do that 3 times. Okay. I let that 3 strikes, you're out. Now I'm going to do something. And like, I'm not going to pick you up your favorite food or something that shows like something a little vengeful, but it's clear of saying
passive aggressive.
Don't you hurt me because that hurt. And it's hard for you sometimes
to
express how you feel, because I feel like you guys, it becomes like a volcano of like, you take it, you suppress, take it. It builds, and then it's a volcano.
But to the point, so I would say with my
that's
growth,
why you're drawn to volcanoes.
My growth, instead of it building, it's like the second anybody, and am I just having any criticality, the second somebody has either attacked me or said something that's inaccurate about what my nature was about something, like if they're accusative when I wasn't doing that, it's like whoosh, No, excuse me.
That's
Sorry, you
inaccurate.
MRFer.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
so
gosh.
if you misinterpret my intentions as malice when they weren't, and I'm insulted for it or I'm minimized for it, it's like, then I'm like, no, you misinterpreted it, but I don't come out and say, you're misinterpreting me. It's like, I will attack the person because it's like, you attacked me and were critical of me. And it was in an undercutting way. And it's like, but I've been around people that are holding me accountable and critical. And so I get this, like, instead of being offended and sad because I used to get bullied, I think we're tying it all together. I get on the attack. And so instead of even processing it, even though later I will, and be like, they were right about that, but they didn't need to minimize my existence as a human being, or you know, they don't understand that I actually went through all this before I made that decision. So how dare they, you know? And so it comes off as attacking, but it was really a defensive thing I've done because I felt attacked, and it was an attack. If you go back and look at it, typically it was an attack.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm writing things down.
In October, I right before I hopped on this flight, like there's this like psychic guy who's a remote viewer, and he tried telling me, like, he gave me a ride to the airport, and he
did you know this person, or you just got a random ride?
And it's nothing romantic or anything like that. Like it was it was like we were all in the house together. I needed to get to the airport, and like it was like that. And it was, I go right before I get on the airport, like I'm sitting at Las Vegas airport, and I'm waiting to get on. And then he texts me this big, long paragraph. And it's talking about how I'm about to go in this dark night of the soul, all this stuff. Like I still have it, but it says all this stuff. And I snapped because I was like, first of all, like, did you forget who you're talking to? Like, I'm a seer, you know, not that I know everything or anything like that, but it's like, first of all, he was talking like all this bad stuff's going to happen to me and everything. And it was like, whoa, you're inaccurate. Like, what are you doing? Don't F my ear with this BS, because I know for a fact that's not the case. I know what I'm entering to. I know what's going on. And so if you're going around saying that you have psychic abilities and you're a remote viewer and this is what, and it's inaccurate.
And
like,
you're only
prey upon,
dark.
Don't prey upon that. Like, no, but I snapped because it was inaccurate. But that's,
and Crystal, by the way, Crystal has no background, so like Julia does like remote viewing, can see all this craziness. And after we leave, I'll make sure I message Crystal about my experience with that when I was on Vice, and I was like, I'm not doing the show if she's on it. She's gonna discredit all of Tottery with her remote viewing and all of.
Let's see.
And you were like, I was like, once I got there, I was just like, she's Britney Spears' body double. And she's going to be on this Tartary thing. And she's talking about remote viewing. And I was like, no, this isn't happening. I'm not doing this. This can't be the way that so anyway, I had like just a boom slaps in the face because Julia like had like seen all the stuff that she couldn't have seen ever. I had like a book that there was like one copy of that I was reading. And she's like, Brittany, I need to talk to you about something. And I was like, what? It was like the orbs. I'm like, what the why are you talking about these orbs? And I'm like reading this book. It's like, there were 3 orbs seen. There were 3. Like, I'm seeing it. And I'm like, dude, wait, what? And so there was just this mind-boggling stuff. So I got out of my comfort zone. Again, like astrology and all this stuff. I was like science and facts. And then there's so much data now on remote viewing, the CIA using it, finding enlightened children, some of the kids of like MK Ultra experiments and like Firestarter and like, there's a lot. There's a lot of different ways that you could look at the people that have these kind of extra heightened capacities. And Julia is trying to say that we all have these abilities to tap into it. And when you detox, and if you can like get rid of fluoride and all this stuff in our system and get our third eye, our pineal gland, this thing that we used to be able to use to have possibly telepathic powers, where the 4 of us could just be sitting here like this and everybody watching, we wouldn't have to talk.
Smiling and laughing.
Like everybody's getting
that would be a show.
That would be a show. That's what I should have wrote for my goal in here. That none of us talk. We do a show. We look nice. We smile, and everybody in the chat is like, LOL. Oh my gosh, did you hear
love
Julia?
it.
And they all hear what we're saying. And we're just like, we're just doing like, I'm gonna rewrite my goal for that because I think like Julia sees that. I don't, not just like telepathic, but the things that you're seeing and you're doing, and she's like also you're transcribing or you're trying to you're dissecting some of the cuneiform or Tartary tablets, or what do you?
It's a ancient Sumerian tablet, but it's like Proto-Sumerian, cuneiform, and there's a third language on it. So and that's how, and that's the thing is that's how I got on the project. Is they only told me about one side of the tablet, and they didn't tell me about the other side. And then I remote viewed it. I did I call it a pre-session. I did several pre-sessions on it, and I was able to see things that were on the other side of it, and they were like, okay,
now we need
want
you
on this because we didn't even tell you about side B, and we were skeptical.
Tell you about those orbs either. we still got to get back to that. Vice interrupted our actual stuff. We were doing the show, and then we're like, dude, no, wait, we got to get back to Shasta, which you're going to Shasta. So
yes, we do. Let's all go.
Locked us out of Shasta.
Yeah, let's all go.
So
anyway,
pondering the orbs. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Julia was pondering the orbs.
She was just seeing tons of different stuff that was related to these.
It's a meme reference. I'm sorry.
It wasn't just the orbs. It's not just the orbs. We're talking I was looking at diaries of Grandpa C.C. Walker from 1808, and it was today out of the mountain came a red, green, and blue. Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's how detailed I was getting because I was supposed to be the Hollow Earth expert of America, of all of the United States, and the guy on the United States, not of the world, but the guy on the Facebook page of that was had no interest, no response to like, dude, hey, what you doing? There's this Hollow Earth episode because Andreas is like, I think you're going to be the expert. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's you. He's like, no, I think it's you. And I was like. So they showed me 5 minutes. I'm talking about we're inside a dragon instead of a cave, and I look like a psycho. And then Andreas looks like he has to cross-analyze all the psychologists, and they're like, you know what I love about Andreas is this is a psychologist that's supposed to be saying he's got a mental illness, and they're like, I love this about Andreas. And I'm like, what is happening? But yeah, I was labeled as Hollow Earth expert. So my parents come down, they're all laughing, and the only my segment was something about this looks like it could be even your daughter is you're weird. You think that caves are dragons or something. That's the only other person that said something besides my dad is your daughter. What the hell?
She's 9.
I forgot about that. What did she say?
Yeah, we're all
me?
like, Harper, shut up.
She's been worried about this for her whole life. What did she say? I can't remember it because I was so traumatized by it.
I don't know.
Anyway,
she yelled it out the window at you. I remember that.
I believe the caves are dinosaurs or are dragons. And I was like, that's not. They edited out everything I had said. And it was all about what Stellium says. Go to his channel. That was all cut out. Regardless, my dad comes down and he's they're laughing and happy. And he's like, oh my gosh. He's he looks at me and he's like, yeah, what you said, that was weird. He's like, Andreas, that was hilarious. High five. I was if you watch it, it's pretty comical. But yeah, they made me look like the crazy psycho, but also the expert where they never showed any of the expertise.
You didn't look like a psycho.
Oh, no, it was 2 lines on thinking I was inside. And that's not even what I thought. So I got to clear my name for the 10 people that'll watch.
There you go.
10, 20 people. Dang it.
I will.
That I didn't mean that.
I think we had a conversation after.
I'm sure. Brittany's a little crazy, okay? When she comes over, she has a code word for when I come over. Oh, dear.
No, it's anybody. It's not just you. It's anybody.
Okay.
I have to preface that anything that she says is, I apologize ahead of time.
All right, so we're probably almost at that 2-hour mark, but nobody else has to sing, but I'm going to sing. So, oh, and you know what? I want to get a lighter or a candle. Or can you blow out a candle or a flame?
Sure.
Or something? Do you have a match or something?
I have a lighter.
It's when I warm up and do the do jiff. So, can someone give me what? Okay, here we go. I wish I had one of those. Ready? 3, 2. Don't blow out the candle when I do a countdown. This tricks people when I go 3, 2, 1. They blow it out. We're gonna start singing. We're gonna start singing after 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Trinity. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Woo!
All right. And I'll edit that out with like the best like version of
No,
Happy
you're
Birthday.
singing into a sock. I love it.
Let's do Happy birthday. Can we redo it? I was trying to avoid that the whole time.
No, I like it. Thanks, girl.
Lots
That
of
was really
lessons learned
sweet.
in this first podcast, and lots of growth that I can do. I'll do my shadow work, and I'll watch this back and have like 1,000 different things I'll do different. 1,000 things different. But here's the thing. So that was really cool for me to watch and see. Of a friend. I hope if anyone's watching and they want to get their either big 3 or some of their astrology read or analyzed, they can go to the Exertus Discord, and we'll start a page called the Smart Astrogirls. And Crystal's welcome to join. And whenever we have people on, we can kind of go through. You gotta get some dudes in here too that are like, this is BS, or not to say that guys think it's BS.
William walk-in. We're gonna get the walk-in.
I mean, if I don't know how comfortable most people are. I don't see why not, but they have to leave. They want anything done really thorough on their chart. They would have to leave their date of birth, month, year, and their time of.
They can send. We can have private messages with me though. So like, if you're interested, right. I'll make a post about it. And if you're willing to like come on and like kind of be odd, or maybe you're like a skeptic and you're like, BS, not like that at all, and you can kind of prove the Smart Astrogirls wrong. That would be.
You can tell us how we're wrong.
Yeah, you can tell them how they're wrong. That'd be great. And I'm here to learn because I want to join and be like in that Smart Astro curve. Because
you'll be good at it because you're the Virgo rising.
Well, I'm just learning, and it's nice for me to be able to judge your capacities by bringing in people I know to see if you can do for them what you did for me. And now it's like, boom, that's 2 for 2. You're validated, and then if I get my PhD, I can like validate you through my dissertation and be like, I have the data. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
and we'll get you getting like your own practice. That's like and we can have different themes. We can do like jean jacket or like cow print or like, we can have fun with this.
You can dress as dudes sometime.
Ooh, right? The trans.
Yeah.
As long as I'm like, I identify as an old Asian man sometimes.
Yes.
But is that? I hope that's not like racist. That's my trans. That's like
You're okay. You're okay. I'm part Asian. I'm not offended.
Oh yes.
I speak for all.
Anyway, we're probably at like the 2-hour mark or somewhere there. This was kind of chaos, but also really centered and awesome. At many points. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Crystal, my bestie,
it was fun.
For coming on with my new besties that are just a part of my life and my network now, and have been really helpful in just kind of trying to get grounded and centered and making sense of this crazy world. We'll have a cool intro and outro at some point. Hopefully when I hit end, this ends, and I'll practice going to like your sites and be like, if you want to see Hala Julia, go here, and I'll open it up and you'll be able to see it. And I'll be like, and go here to see D and Crystal on Instagram. You can find her there. Just pretend I'm doing all that stuff. But I'm recent Tartarians. I'm also the Truth Fairy. I wonder if I could open that. I'm just kidding. But I'm also the Truth Fairy. I have videos up. Check out Exertus Discord. You can get there by going to tartarynova.com, something Discord. I'll post a link in this video. And we'll see you next time we do this, which is hopefully soon. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Happy birthday,
Nice to
Dee.
meet
Happy
you.
Yes,
birthday,
happy
Dee.
birthday.
And
Yes,
many
thanks,
more. I'll sing it better
girls.
next
Thank
time.
you.
Next birthday.
You were
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I'll be ready.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Peace
Bye.
out. Much love, everybody.